to Story Time with Emma. Today, I'm going to share with you a fun story about one of my favorite holidays. Do you know which holiday it is? Yes, you got it. It's Christmas. Well, during this beautiful time of year, families and friends will get together to decorate, to put up Christmas lights, to enjoy a good feast, and to have a good time. How about you? Have you ever written letters to Santa Claus and got wonderful gifts on Christmas Day? There's so much joy and cheer for everyone. Don't you just love Christmas?
No, I don't!
Who is it?
I hate Christmas!
Who in the world hates Christmas? Could it be the Grinch? Let's find out in How the Grinch Stole Christmas by Dr. Seuss. 小朋友，你会不会好奇，为什么 Grinch 会这么讨厌圣诞节，然后想要把圣诞节偷走呢？会不会是因为他不喜欢看到人们过得太幸福、太快乐呢？ Well， 其实这也是人可能会出现的自然反应的一种哦。因为呢，我们对于得不到却很羡慕想要的东西，其实心里是会产生一种防御机制哦。那心理的防御机制的其中一个方法就是用攻击，用攻击来确保自己心里不会有得不到的痛苦或尴尬情绪哦。比方那个酸葡萄心理，还记得《伊索寓言》那个跳了1000次还摘不到葡萄的那个狐狸吗？他其实非常想吃那个葡萄，但因为他实在是摘不到，所以他最后就说那葡萄酸死了，我才不想吃呢。那这个吃不到葡萄就攻击葡萄酸，也是一种让自己心里产生防御机制的一种，你知道吗？防御机制除了酸葡萄心理之外，还有一种叫做甜柠檬心理，就是那个吃不到葡萄说葡萄酸的狐狸啊，走着走着就找到了一棵柠檬树。那因为他实在是太饿了，于是他就摘了一颗柠檬充饥。狐狸边吃就边说：“柠檬好甜啊，这正合我的口味，我就爱这又酸又甜的味道。”那你有时候会不会也有甜柠檬心理呢？就好像有时候我看到小朋友玩具乱丢，然后把喜欢的玩具弄丢了，那他就会安慰自己说：“哎呀，反正旧的不去，新的不来嘛。”那这些心理的防御机制呢，虽然可能可以避免我们因为得不到而产生痛苦的感觉，但是用多了会让我们对真实的感受变得越来越陌生哦。因为那就好像我们心里受伤了，那伤口一直在流血，我们却只是盖上纱布，然后却没有把伤口去做消毒，做治疗或上药。那请问你，这个纱布下的伤口有可能会怎么样呢？它有没有可能会继续化脓、扩大，甚至感染到身体的其他器官呢？所以有没有可能 Grinch 他心里也曾经有过一个伤口，所以他也看不得别人好，不喜欢看到别人有幸福跟快乐呢
？How the Grinch Stole Christmas by Dr. Seuss. Every Who down in Whoville liked Christmas a lot, but the Grinch, who lived just north of Whoville, did not. The Grinch hated Christmas, the whole Christmas season. Please don't ask why. No one quite knows the reason. It could be his hair wasn't screwed on just right. It could be, perhaps, that his shoes were too tight. But I think that the most likely reason of all may have been that his heart was 2 sizes too small. But whatever the reason, his heart or his shoes, he stood there on Christmas Eve, hating the Whos, staring down from his cave with a sour, grinchy frown at the warm lighted windows below in their town, for he knew every Who down in Whoville beneath was busy now, hanging a mistletoe wreath.
And they're hanging their stockings.
He snarled with a sneer.
Tomorrow is Christmas. It's practically here.
Then he growled, with his Grinch fingers nervously drumming.
I must find some way to stop Christmas from coming.
For tomorrow, he knew, all the Who girls and boys will wake bright and early. They will rush for their toys. And then, oh, the noise. Oh, the noise, 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 noise. That's one thing he hated. The noise, 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 noise. Then the Whos, young and old, would sit down to a feast. And they feast, and they feast, and they feast, 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 feast. They would feast on Who pudding and rare Who roast beast, which was something the Grinch couldn't stand in the least. And then they would do something he liked least of all. Every Who down in Whoville, the tall and the small, would stand close together with Christmas bells ringing. They would stand hand in hand, and the Whos would start singing. They sing and they sing, and they sing, 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 sing. And the more the Grinch thought of this Who Christmas sing, the more the Grinch thought,
I must stop this whole thing. Why, for 53 years I've put up with it now. I must stop this Christmas from coming. But how?
Then he got an idea. An awful idea. The Grinch got a wonderful, awful idea. I know just what to do. The Grinch laughed in his throat, and he made a quick Santa Claus hat and a coat. And he chuckled and clucked.
What a great Grinchy trick. With this coat and this hat, I look just like Saint Nick. All I need is a reindeer.
The Grinch looked around, but since reindeer are scarce, there was none to be found. Did that stop the old Grinch? No. The Grinch simply said,
If I can't find a reindeer, I'll make one instead.
So he called his dog Max. Then he took some red thread and he tied a big horn on the top of his head. Then he loaded some bags and some old empty sacks on a ramshackle sleigh, and he hitched up old Max. Then the Grinch said,
Get up!
And the sleigh started down toward the homes where the Whos lay a snooze in their town. All their windows were dark. Quiet snow filled the air. All the Whos were all dreaming sweet dreams without care. When he came to the first little house on the square,
This is stop number 1.
the old Grinchy Claus hissed, and he climbed to the roof, empty bags in his fist. Then he slid down the chimney, a rather tight pinch. But if Santa could do it, then so could the Grinch. He got stuck only once, for a moment or two. Then he stuck his head out of the fireplace flue, where the little Who stockings all hung in a row.
This stockings
he grinned.
are the first thing to go.
Then he slithered and slunk, with a smile most unpleasant, around the whole room, and he took every present. Pop guns and bicycles, roller skates, drums, checkerboard, tricycles, popcorn, and prawns. And he stuffed them in bags. Then the Grinch, very nimbly, stuffed all the bags, one by one, up the chimney. Then he slunk to the icebox. He took the Who's feast. He took the Who pudding. He took the roast beast. He cleaned out the icebox as quick as a flash. While the Grinch even took their last can of Who hash. Then he stuffed all the food up the chimney with a glee. And now, grinned the Grinch,
I will stuff up the tree.
and the Grinch grabbed the tree and he started to shove. When he heard a small sound like the coo of a dove, he turned around fast and he saw a small Who. Little Cindy Lou who was not more than 2. The Grinch had been caught by this tiny Who daughter, who got out of bed for a cup of cold water. She stared at the Grinch and said, "Santa Claus, why? Why are you taking our Christmas tree? Why?" But you know, that old Grinch was so smart and so slick. He thought up a lie, and he thought it up quick. "Why, my sweet little tot," the fake Santa Claus lied.
There is a light on this tree that won't light on one side. So, I'm taking it home to my workshop, my dear. I'll fix it up there. Then, I'll bring it back here.
And his fib fooled the child. Then he patted her head, and he got her a drink, and he sent her to bed. And when Cindy Lou Who went to bed with her cup, he went to the chimney and stuffed the tree up. Then the last thing he took was the log for their fire. Then he went up the chimney himself, the old liar. On their walls he left nothing but hooks and some wire. And the one speck of food that he left in the house was a crumb that was even too small for a mouse. Then he did the same thing to the other Who's houses, leaving crumbs much too small for the other Who's mouses. It was 1/4 dawn. All the Who's still abed, all the Who's still a noose, when he packed up his sled, packed it up with their presents, the ribbons, the wrappings, the tags and the tinsel, the trimmings, the trappings. 3,000 feet up the side of Mount Crumpet. He rode with his load to the tip-top to dump it.
Pooh-pooh to the Who's.
He was grinchishly humming.
They are finding out now that no Christmas is coming. They are just waking up. I know just what they will do. Their mouths will hang open a minute or 2. Then the Who's down in Whoville will all cry, boo-hoo. That's a noise
Grinned the Grinch.
that I simply must hear.
So he paused, and the Grinch put his hand to his ear, and he did hear a sound rising over the snow. It started in low, then it started to grow. But the sound wasn't sad. Why? This sound sounded merry. It couldn't be so, but it was merry, very. He stared down at Whoville. The Grinch popped his eyes. Then he shook. What he saw was a shocking surprise. Every Who down in Whoville, the tall and the small, was singing without any presents at all. He hadn't stopped Christmas from coming. It came. Somehow or other, it came just the same. And the Grinch, with his Grinch feet ice cold in the snow, stood puzzling and puzzling.
How could it be so? It came without ribbons. It came without tags. It came without packages, boxes, or bags.
And he puzzled 3 hours, till his puzzler was sore. Then the Grinch thought of something he hadn't before.
Maybe Christmas
He thought,
doesn't come from a store. Maybe Christmas perhaps means a little bit more.
and what happened then? Well, in Whoville they say that the Grinch's small heart grew 3 sizes that day. And the minute his heart didn't feel quite so tight, he whizzed with his load through the bright morning light. And he brought back the toys and the food for the feast. And he himself, the Grinch, carved the roast beast.
I'm so happy to see that the Grinch has a change of heart. He finally is able to enjoy Christmas with everybody. So, what do you think Christmas is all about? What's the Christmas spirit? I think at the heart, no matter how commercial it gets you because it means something. Well, 小朋友，那你觉得圣诞节对你而言代表的意义是什么呢？如果你喜欢今天的故事，欢迎你在底下按赞、留言或分享，我会继续制作好听的故事给你听哦。Until next time.
Christmas of love.